Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to your HIMediaTV news update. I'm your host, Evan from HIMediaTV, and Russian warships reached Cuban waters ahead of military exercises in the Caribbean. A fleet of Russian warships reached Cuban waters on Wednesday ahead of planned military exercises in the Caribbean that some see as a projection of strength as tensions grow over Western Europe's Western support for Ukraine. The fleet, made up of a frigate, a nuclear-powered submarine, an oil tanker, and a rescue tug, crossed into Havana Bay after drills in the Atlantic Ocean. The flagship frigate, adorned with the Russian and Cuban flags, was greeted with a 21-cannon salute. Russian sailors aboard the frigate stood in military formation as they approached the islands. Some Cuban residents stopped to take pictures of the arriving ship. This is from the Associated Press by Regina Garcia Cotto, Gilsa Solomon, and Andrea Rodriguez. This is just... Here's the thing. Vladimir Putin is having a very terrible time in Ukraine. The way the Kremlin is designed is to basically shelter its despots from having to interact with the wider world and having to engage with any kind of reality. It is a filter by which the person in highest power is only hears what he wants to hear. It's a filter of reality, and so everyone that used to be part of that filter is basically gone at this point. Everybody who's good at their job. At this point, Russia is in a really bad way. It's outside of it's buying ammunition from North Korea, for Christ's sake. It's not in a good spot. Vladimir Putin. The mission comes less than 2 weeks after President Joe Biden authorized Ukraine to use U.S.-provided weapons to strike inside of Russia to protect Kharkiv, Ukraine's second largest city, prompting Vladimir Putin to suggest his military could respond with asymmetrical steps elsewhere in the world. No, he couldn't. He is literally... The Ukrainian war has turned into a meat grinder, and I think it's like 5 to 10 Russian soldiers for every one Ukrainian soldier killed. It has been a absolute loss objectively. Now, don't get me wrong. This past winter, the winter offensive that the Ukrainian army did was not great. They lost more than they were able to gain. In terms of the resources lost and lives lost compared to territory gain was not great, and their continued holdout allowed waiting for certain U.S. equipment led to the Russians being completely really dug in. So it hasn't been a complete. So Russia hasn't been completely trounced by the Ukrainians. They've had some kind of some, I wouldn't say wins, but they haven't been completely gassed out. This is just a showing of the Russian bear is really more of a paper bear, if we're being honest, or a paper tiger, as it were. And this showing of force outside of the nuclear-powered submarine, there really is not anything. It's nuclear-powered. It's not even nuclear-armed. There's just really not too much to worry about here. Cuba still has ties with Russia just because the United States is continuously treating Cuba like shit. I honestly think if we got rid of the sanctions in Cuba and started normalizing relations, things would get better. But regardless, I think ultimately this is just some bullshit showmanship by Putin. I don't necessarily have any confidence in. I don't have any I think Putin is living in a dream world, and I don't think we have anything to worry about. But on that note, ladies and gentlemen, this has been Evan from HIMediaTV with your TV news with your news update. Thank you so very much for listening. If you want to support the show, you can do so at himedia.gg/tip. $1 a month is a boon to my mental health. I genuinely appreciate it. I appreciate you and your time and your listenership. Have a wonderful rest of your day, and I'll see you guys next time.